I want to go to Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. But wait, there's more than one Hogwarts I can visit in real life? Which one should I go to? If you're a fan of Harry Potter, chances are you've probably heard of the Wizarding World of Harry Potter at Universal Studios theme parks, and you might also have heard that there are studio tours you can go to. But which option is better? Which one should you go to? If you don't know me, I'm Vanessa. I'm a huge Harry Potter fan. I pretty much grew up with the series, and I recently went to the Harry Potter studio tour in Tokyo, Japan. I've also been to the Harry Potter Wizarding World at Universal Studios, and I thought it might be helpful to do a video comparing the two experiences and help you decide which immersive Harry Potter experience is the right one for you. I will leave timestamps below in case there's a category you are most interested in. And for those who saw Harry Potter in the thumbnail and clicked without knowing exactly what these Harry Potter destinations are, the Wizarding World of Harry Potter is part of the Universal Studios theme parks. There are rides, shops, and restaurants to explore. There is one in Florida and one in California. I will be referring to the one in Florida throughout this video because that's the one that I have been to. And the Harry Potter Studio Tour is an exploration of the sets and behind the scenes of the making of the Harry Potter movies. The original architects and set designers reconstructed the sets from the movies, so you can walk through and feel like you're in some of the iconic settings from the Harry Potter films. In addition to that, there are restaurants, cafes, and the world's biggest Harry Potter store full of exclusive Harry Potter merchandise. There is one in London, England, and one in Tokyo, Japan. In this video, I'll be talking about the one in Tokyo, Japan, since that's the one that I have been to. Let's go! Ikimashou! First, let's talk about value. How much do these places cost, and what are you getting for your money? I'm going to look at my notes for this part just so I don't mix up any information. To attend Harry Potter World in Universal Studios, Florida, you will need a ticket to the Universal Studios theme parks. Unfortunately, the Wizarding World of Harry Potter is actually split up between two of their different theme parks, so you will need a ticket to both and a park-to-park pass in order to attend both of the parks. Diagon Alley is located in Universal Studios, Florida, and Hogsmeade and the Hogwarts Castle are located in Universal Islands of Adventure. So to do both and to ride the Hogwarts Express to get between them, you will need the park-to-park pass, which costs $174 US per adult for one day. But this isn't just entrance into the Harry Potter stuff in the park. This is entrance into the entire Universal Studios park, so there is a lot you can do. There are exciting rides, stores, restaurants from the books that you can actually eat at and go shopping in, and like you're a wizard from the Wizarding World. It is a wonderful and immersive experience. For the studio tour, it costs 6,300 Japanese yen per person to enter the Studio Tour Tokyo, which is about $42 US. This tour is a grand, massive experience. I didn't even realize how much this tour included. As I said earlier, the original architects for the movie rebuilt portions of the sets so you can walk through and feel like you're a character in the movies. I did a full vlog of my experience there, so if you want to see all of the sets that are included, I will link that in the cards and in the descriptions. It's also a museum that shares how the movies were made and shows the characters' costumes and models of the mythical creatures and special effects that are used in the films. And there's probably the most beautiful and expansive gift shop that I have ever seen, period. It's crazy, so much Harry Potter merch. And there are 2 restaurants and a cafe filled with Harry Potter meals and treats. I think the price of the tour is incredible for the experience. I'd say it's an amazing value, especially with the current currency from US dollars to Japanese yen right now. Universal Studios is pricey, but it's a theme park with rides and everything, so it's so much fun. But it does add up paying for both parks. Similarities and and differences. You may be wondering, is there any overlap between these Wizarding World experiences? If so, what are they? And what are some of the major differences? The butterbeer. The butterbeer is exactly the same at both places. Super sweet and butterscotchy. You can get frozen butterbeer at Universal Studios, which is more of a slushy than a soda, but the standard butterbeer is the same at both places. The Hogwarts Express. In the Harry Potter World theme park, the Hogwarts Express is an actual train that you can ride. You take the train to ride between the parks from Hogsmeade to Diagon Alley. The windows in the train are not real, they play footage similar to that from the Harry Potter movies. In the studio tour, the Hogwarts Express is not a rideable train. Instead, they have set up mannequins of the different Harry Potter characters in the different compartments on their little sound bites and things, so you can kind of feel like you're walking through it and seeing all the characters about to go to Hogwarts. Diagon Alley. In Diagon Alley at Universal Studios Florida, Diagon Alley is the entire Harry Potter experience, so naturally it is much larger and more expansive than the Diagon Alley section of the studio tour. You can actually enter most of the shops, and you can eat at the restaurants at the Leaky Cauldron. So you can go shopping and eat food and feel like you're in Diagon Alley. The studio tour is just a walkthrough of Diagon Alley. It's smaller and more condensed for obvious reasons. You can't enter shops or anything. The architecture looks pretty much the same, which makes sense since it's based off the Harry Potter films. So it's very fun and colorful to take pictures in. The night bus is at both places, and it looked pretty much the same to me from what I can remember at Universal Studios. Both of these places have very cool interior locations from the Harry Potter films that you can enjoy. They're not always the exact same ones though, like at Universal Studios Florida there is Gringotts Bank, which you can walk through before you get to the Gringotts ride. And in the Tokyo Studio Tour they have the Ministry of Magic, which I don't think is anywhere in the theme parks. I could go further into a comprehensive list of locations that are in one place versus another, but that would probably be long enough to be its own video. But if that is something you want, let me know in the comments. As for shopping and food, I will go over the similarities and differences in this next section. Shopping! Let's talk about shopping. There's plenty of Harry Potter merch to buy in both of these places, and there's probably some overlap of the items themselves. Some of the wands are the same, some of the robes and school outfits look the same to me, and they both sell some of the exact same candy. I will say for clothes, there are way cuter clothes like t-shirts and hoodies at the theme parks. I really wanted to bring out the shirts that I got and show you because they're so cute, but they don't fit me right now. They're too big, so I might have them packed away in a box somewhere. I might try and find a photo to show. I was pretty disappointed by the shirts and hoodies at the studio tour. I really didn't like any of them enough to buy them. But aside from clothes, there were so many cool things at the studio tour shop, and the shop itself was beautiful. In the Harry Potter theme parks, you can walk around Diagon Alley or Hogsmeade and actually enter the different shops that you've read about in the Harry Potter books, which is a super fun experience. To all of my readers out there, I do have to warn you, Flourish and Blott's bookstore is not a real bookstore. It's just a storefront. You can't enter it. I was quite sad to discover this. Moving on to food. In the Universal Studios theme parks, there are 2 restaurants and 2 dessert places total. In Diagon Alley, you have the Leaky Cauldron and Florian Fortescue's Ice Cream Parlor. There weren't that many different meals available. I think it's just a couple. And this is all British-inspired food, so definitely not what my American palate is used to. I think I got the shepherd's pie at the Leaky Cauldron. It was okay. I think my friend got the bangers and mash, which is sausage and mashed potatoes, and she seemed to enjoy that. The ice cream from the ice cream place, though, is very tasty. In Hogsmeade, you can eat at the 3 Broomsticks, which has a different menu selection than at the Leaky Cauldron. There also weren't that many meal options available. I think I got something with chicken, and my travel companions both got the fish and chips. The french fries were really good. I don't like fish, so I didn't want the fish and chips, but actually it was very fried and I had a little bit and it was quite tasty. And then there's Honeydukes, which is full of candy, and they have a whole bunch of different fancy cupcakes, and the cauldron cake was really tasty. That frosting was just so light and fluffy. And in the studio tour, there are 2 restaurants and a cafe. There is the Chocolate Frog Cafe, or just the Frog Cafe, which is very pretty and kind of inspired by chocolate frogs, and it's got this table that looks like the chocolate frog box, and it is so cute. And then there is the restaurant that kind of just looks like the Great Hall from Harry Potter, and at that one there are various British inspired meals as well. And the Frog Cafe has all these really cute like cakes and desserts that are Harry Potter themed. And then halfway through the tour, there is the Backlot Cafe, which again has, I don't know if it's the same meals because I didn't get any actual food there. I'll put a clip from my vlog because I think I do have a clip of the menu. But I got the Hedwig cake. It was delicious and so pretty, and I felt bad eating it because it was so cute. Next, location and ease of travel. Obviously, your location will be a factor for which experience you choose. For example, from where I live in the United States, it is only a 2-hour flight to get to Orlando, Florida, which is where the Universal Studios park is located, versus the 14-hour flight that it took to get to Japan. But me and my husband both love Japanese culture, and we were planning a trip to Japan anyway, and then we found out that the Tokyo Studio Tour exists, and it just so happened that the Studio Tour is about a half-hour ride from where we were staying in Shibuya. In Japan, it was a little bit confusing to get to where the Studio Tour is located from Shibuya. Neither one of us is fluent in Japanese. I know a little bit, so I can read some. So just a FYI, if you end up staying in Shibuya and you want to go to the Harry Potter Studio Tour, you will have to change trains a couple times. It's not just a straight ride. That's not really a huge deal, but it's just something to keep in mind. And to get to the Universal Studios theme parks once you're in Orlando, Florida, it is extremely easy, especially if you pick the right hotels, because some of them have a shuttle that takes you directly from your hotel into the parks, which is just something to consider when picking a place to stay for the trip. But which is better? To answer this, I have to ask you a question. What is your primary... Why can't I speak? To answer this, I have to ask you a question. What is your primary goal for your Harry Potter experience? I ask this because I'm assuming you love Harry Potter and want to feel like you're part of the wizarding world. I mean, who doesn't? Aside from muggles, but who cares about them? But what do you want to do while you're there? Do you love rides and want to feel like you're flying around on a broomstick with Harry around the Hogwarts castle? Or do you want to feel like you're soaring underneath the Gringotts Bank? Or do you want to actually walk inside the shops like the Weasley Wizards Wheezes in Diagon Alley, buy an ice cream at the ice cream parlor, I'm not going to say that name again, or browse wands at Ollivanders? Then you want to go to the Wizarding World of Harry Potter at Universal Studios. Or do you want to take really cool pictures that look like you're actually a student at class in Hogwarts? Make it look like you're mixing a potion in potions class, or hanging out with Fawkes at Dumbledore's office, or in the bridge outside of the castle. The Harry Potter Studio Tour has a million photo opportunities, and it's literally what everybody is doing there, just having fun in cosplay and taking awesome photos. While you can obviously take fun photos at the Harry Potter World theme parks, it is a theme park with people running around and trying to get to the different rides or like entering the shops or the restaurants. So it's a little bit more chaotic and a little bit harder to find a spot for just like a really cool photo op. But the studio tour is just pretty much designed for cool photo opportunities. There are even times when you can just stand in line and wait for an opportunity for like a really cool photo, like at platform 9 3/4. So you're pretty much guaranteed a fun photo. And you want to learn about how the movies were made, learn about the special effects, see the characters' costumes, learn how they built and designed the sets. Then the studio tour is where you want to go. It's a super in-depth museum about how the movies were made. So if you mostly want to take cute photos and learn about behind the scenes of the movies, the studio tour is the one for you. But if you want to ride those rides and actually enter the different shops from the Harry Potter world, then you want to go to the theme parks. So whether you are planning a trip or you're just curious about these 2 Harry Potter themed adventures, I hope you found this video interesting. And if there's anything that I didn't mention that you want to know about them, feel free to ask in the comments. I'm happy to chat. And if you want to see my full vlog of the tour or the merch that I got there, I will leave those videos in the description. I'll see you soon in my next video. Bye! I could not speak, and this footage is 40 minutes long.